They said you wanted to see me, Coach?
Yeah, man. Step on up into my office. It's Homespun Sports with Coach John Montgomery. Sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. Welcome. We are so glad that you are here. Once more and again, you've tuned in to Homespun Sports. It's sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. I am your host, John Montgomery, a.k.a. The Coach. And I'm in H-Town, but way up in Oklahoma City, my show enough ride or die. What's up, Slim?
What's going on with you, Coach? I'm excited for 11. Let's do it. How you doing?
Brother, I'm in 7th heaven. We doing show number 11. So let's get started. Let's
go, man. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with extreme pleasure and what an honor it is to have on our show a very, very special person. 3-time Super Bowl winning, 4-time Pro Bowl, 3-time first team All-Pro, a member of the 1980 All-Decade team, also a member of the Washington Redskins Ring of Honor, a future Hall of Famer for sure, and my show enough good friend, Joe Jacoby.
Wow. Thanks, Coach. Man, might have to use you in the induction ceremony. You know that?
Man, what a pleasure to have you, man. Jeez.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on with you guys.
How you doing, Joe?
And looking forward to talking a little football and talk about a little about life.
Yes, sir.
Well, man, the floor is yours. We're just elated to have you, man. Let me tell you, man. Joe, man, listen, man, we go back. I, of course, followed you with the Hogs, and then you put on the cap and whistle and coached.
Right.
And I remember the first time I met you, I recognized you. Wow, that's Joe Jacoby. I wanted to introduce myself to you, and you didn't know me from Joe's House Cat, and we talked a little ball that time. But then, after 1997, I would see you at the American Football Coaches Association National Convention. And I walked up to you and I said, "You remember me?" And you go, yeah, I remember you. I said, "Well, I'm working for Doug now. Doug down in Morehouse.
Right.
Doug Williams. I'm working for Doug Williams now, and I'm coaching offensive line, and I'm Doug's offensive coordinator." And then after that, man, we were like peas and carrots after that, man. I had a little credibility. A name drop, Slim. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Take it away, partner.
Well, that was a good time. I know we met down there. I think we went into the same meeting. I think we were listening to, was it Rick Trickett?
Rick Trickett was then at Florida State, right?
Right.
Okay.
I think we went in that same meeting to listen to him speak.
Yeah. No question.
Mr. Jacoby, I wanted to interview you if that would be possible.
Yes.
All right, thank you, man. So one thing I wanted to run by you. You were a member of the group, the Hogs, one of the most iconic groups in all of professional football. In your opinion, what was it like being a part of such an iconic group, and who came up with the name the Hogs?
Well, Slim, I mean, I always get that question about that name of that group that we played with, the Hogs. And, you know, as we look back on it, our age and stuff now, why would you pick such a name for yourself to represent you as there? You look at it, you look what an offensive lineman does, and they are in the trenches. They do play in the mud,
Mm-hmm.
and they are rooting people out.
Yeah.
So the name kind of fit what we were doing, but the name came from our line coach. Coach You Like This came from Joe Bugle.
Yeah.
Joe Bugle wanted us to be a close-knit and tight group because we were young. We have myself, Russ Grimm, Mark May, all first-year players, and we're starting on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Bostic was in his second year.
Right.
So 4 guys have combined 1 year experience in the NFL.
Joe,
yeah.
I did not. You guys all broke in together. You, Mark May, and Russ Grimm.
Right.
All broke in together.
And we were all starters on the same team.
As rookies.
Rookies.
You know, the thing about that was offensive linemen pride themselves on anonymity.
Right.
You don't hear from them till something goes bad. But we understand that.
Right. We live with that. That's our life. And we understand if our name's called out, it's not for something they're going to praise you about. It's something they're going to get on you about.
That's right.
So we understood that. So the name came with Bugles because he always said to us when we broke from stretching, I said, all right, you hogs, just go down in the pit and hit the sled.
Hit sleds. Yeah.
So he come up with that name, and he wanted to build that, like I said, Coach, that bond, get that tightness, that closeness. We were young guys. He created this name, created a shirt to wear it once a week. It was, I think, a Thursday that we talked about that, wore that shirt. If we didn't wear the shirt that Thursday, we had to pay a fine. A $5 fine went into the kitty for the end of the year. So that thing took off.
It's crazy.
We won. What's that?
I think I saw that when Sports Center did a 30 for 30 documentary on the Hogs. When they talked about the shirts and the fines and everything like that. I remember reading that.
I think I may still have a shirt if it hasn't turned completely yellow yet, but go ahead.
So Joe, the current rank of the Washington football team, 27th out of 32 in points allowed with 28.4. Now the starters on the defensive line, I'm talking about Chase Young and Montez Sweat at the ends, Dayron Payne and Jonathan Allen at the tackles. 4 first-round picks in that starting defensive line. You could call it an acute case of underperformance. What's your opinion on that? What's your take, sir?
Well, I think you nailed it on the head, underperformance. People could say, well, you can't criticize them and all that. No, I mean, statistics speak for themselves. And obviously, they're 2-5 and 2-6 now. And you're giving up that many points, and your offense has an inexperienced quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bad situation. I think this is my personal opinion that pay.
You there?
Joe,
you there? Joe, you there?
So far, they have not lived up to that billing that they came out of the NFL about.
Joe, it's old saying in coaching, potential will get you fired.
Yeah, that's that big French word.
Yeah, potential will get you fired. The bottom line is performance. There's 4 first-round picks in that defensive front, and I will tell you, Joe, I had the Redskins winning that division on the strength of that defense. And Joe, you can't name a team with a 4-down front that got four first-rounders starting.
No, you can't. And just underperforming, like Slim said. They're not living up to that billing. They got to stop. Sooner or later, stop reading the press clippings and get back out to playing football.
There you go.
Thank you, Joe. Last thing I want to run by you.
All right.
We got confirmation that Doug Williams will be our next guest. 2 weeks from today, Doug Williams will be our guest star on Homespun Sports.
Your
You played
teammate
with Doug Williams. That was your teammate. When it was announced that he was going to be the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP for Super Bowl 22, you have a famous quote. You came out saying, Doug Williams, black, white, green, blue, you're our guy. You are our quarterback. Please take us to that exact moment, what you were thinking in your head. I want to know, like, what were your thoughts? What was going through your head?
What was going through my head at that moment in the Super Bowl was because of him, not because of his color of his skin, because he's a fellow human being and he's my quarterback. He's a quarterback of a football team and a hell of a person. And I was so happy because knowing what Doug's life had been to that point,
no question.
and to reach that pinnacle, we were all elated for him.
No
Love Doug. Doug is still my teammate. I see Doug when I go up to see the games up in Washington, and you know, I know what he's going through, what he went through, and all that. And it was just, it was that moment, and I just want to let him know he's my quarterback. I don't care what everything else is. He's my quarterback, and he's my friend.
Yeah. A class guy, no question. I was fortunate enough to work for him twice. And so, no question about it. Joe, man, listen, thank you. Don't cover it all, but we sure enough do appreciate you taking a little time to bless our show.
Well, I really do appreciate it as well.
I appreciate you guys. Like I said earlier when we were talking, that it's nice to be remembered and talk about the old days and talk about teammates that we played with and stuff, and talk about my position I played and what we went through and all that. So, Coach, I appreciate that. It's good seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
It's great talking with you the last couple of days, and
yes, sir.
I wish you guys well.
Hey, man. Hey, Joe, thanks again, man. And listen, man, we got to do this thing again, man. We're growing, and we're on our way, and we're going to have you back.
All right, well, you got my contact. I'm here.
Thank you, Mr. Jacoby.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Take care, Joe. Take care.
All
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Boy, man, it was great having Joe Jacoby on that show.
Yeah, that was great, Coach. That was awesome.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without any further ado, it is with great pleasure that I give to you Slim's Pickens. Pick that thing, Slim.
Yes, sir. The great Wilson Pickett said it best with regards to the North Carolina A&T football Aggie program, who can boast 7 black college national titles, 3 of them consecutively from 2017 to 2019. Don't let the green grass fool you. Well, I'm not a singer, y'all, but y'all get the point. Since joining the Big South Conference in 2021, the Aggies have a record of 4-5. Not looking very good. There's an iconic football program fastly going in the wrong direction. The old expression, it's tough on the bluff. And that's apropos because right now it's tougher than a $2 steak to win a football game at Southern University. With a record of 4-5, the Jags have Jackson State and Grambling, and believe me, they are squarely looking 4-7 in the face. Aeneas Williams and Mel Blount, where are y'all when we need you the most? After a 2-touchdown loss to Alabama A&M, Alabama State's head football coach, Don Hill-Ely, was shown the door. A word to the powers that be over in Montgomery, Alabama. Get out on I-65 real quick and head up to Birmingham and visit head football coach at Miles College, Reginald Ruffin, who took Alabama State to overtime and would have won the game had it not been for a blocked point after attempt. Let's see. Miles College, Division II, with 32 scholarships. Alabama State D1 AA with 63. Stay tuned, sports fans. And that's Slim's Pickens.
Ooh, wait. Boy, you picked that thing, my brother. You picked that thing.
Appreciate that, Coach.
Way to go, bro. Way to go.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball. We made it to Game 6, Coach. We made it to Game 6. We got it back to Houston, but we fumbled the bag. What's your take?
You're right, Slim. And I was so pulling for Dusty Baker. But, Slim, good pitching trumps good hitting. And the Stros live and die with the long ball.
Yep.
And Atlanta hit, in a 6-game series, Atlanta hit 11 dingers. Jose Altuve hit both of the 2 dingers that the Astros got.
Mm-hmm.
Yordan Alvarez and Alex Bregman combined go for 4 and 41. 4 out of 41. You can't win like that, man. You go 4 for 41.
Coach, momentum swung in the 3rd inning. After that, it was over with.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Atlanta's below 500 at the All-Star break, and they rallied up. They rallied up with the acquisition of that boy Alan Duvall, Eddie Rosario, and that dude Jorge Soler. Slim, did you see that home run that Jose Soler? Slim,
he tattooed that ball, Coach.
You think? Listen, the only ballpark that one would not have gone out in is Yellowstone.
Yeah, that was green from anywhere.
That's the only park that might have held that thing. Listen, anything flying that high and that fast ought to offer you a complimentary bag of pretzels and a soft drink. Oh boy, that one left out of here in a hurry. Man, but hey, at the end of the day, tip your
Coach.
Hat. Tip your hat.
All right, Coach. College football.
Okay. Didn't I tell you?
You did say that. You did say the polls, Coach.
Didn't I tell you?
You did. You were right. You're absolutely right.
Look,
they don't respect them, Coach.
They don't respect the Big 12. They stuck them in the 8 hole. They stuck them in the 8 hole with the original poll. Now, I know the new one comes out next Tuesday. I get it. But Georgia number 1, and they're the best team in college football right now. Alabama number 2, still the 2nd best team, in my opinion. And I think the poll had it right. Michigan State got put out of their misery. Michigan State, Mel Tucker got put out of his misery. They lost to Purdue. So you know they wasn't for real. They got put out of him. Okay, all right. Oregon, number 4. Ohio State, Slim. They stuck them right there at that 6 spot. They stuck them right there at that 5 spot for
5 spot, Coach. Cincinnati got 6. Cincinnati got 6.
Cincinnati 6.
And they barely hung on at home at Tulsa.
Them kids from Tulsa on scholarship too. But Cincinnati won. Let me tell you something. Cincinnati did the same thing that Alabama did. They won. Listen, man, it's November. These kids got schoolwork. They're beat up, banged up. They ain't gonna be.
What happened to style points, Coach?
They won. That's the style. That they won. All right. Now, here's the thing. But again, all you Boomer Sooner folks, I'm telling you right now, that committee stuck Oklahoma in the 8 hole, and they said, if you're elite, show it. Okay? Show it. Oklahoma got Baylor, Okie State, and Iowa State left to play. They could
win all 3 or they could lose all 3.
They could lose all 3. And to just show you how it's all, Baylor lost to West Virginia. So you put them in a bag, shake them all up, they're all the same. They're all the same. You know. Now, the committee comes out this Tuesday. I'll guarantee you Alabama will be ranked number 2.
Okay. Even though they did not play well against a 2-win LSU team at home, Coach, that was in Bryant-Denny.
I know.
By the way,
I know.
And they got handed that loss in week 6 to College Station to the Aggies, Coach. Are you saying they still gonna be 2?
I still say they're gonna be 2, and I'll tell you why. Nick Saban got that committee trained. That committee is looking for Alabama to be at the finish line. at the end of the day.
The SEC got the CFP trained, Coach.
The Nick Saban and the SEC got that committee trained.
Yeah.
And listen, and I'm telling you something else too. The SEC championship game could very well be the national championship game. Georgia's going to skate through the rest of that SEC East if they take care of their business. Okay? Yeah. Okay. They win on defense. They're marginal on offense. Last night, Alabama was marginal on offense, but Mildred, they won ugly. Good teams have to win ugly. Okay? Alabama showed muscle. They're good enough. They were good enough to beat the SEC. Don't forget this now. This 2019 LSU football team got this
2021. Yeah, they still got a ring, Coach. They still got some rings.
They got some thank you. They got some kids on that team from LSU. Still got some bling bling. Yeah. They got some bling bling.
They still got some rings.
Yeah. The apple didn't fall that far from the tree from this 2021 team back to that 2019 team.
No doubt, Coach. Now in professional football, you'd almost have to be living under a rock not to know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I'm talking about how do you get caught in a lie like that, Coach?
Yep, he straight up did lie. Ain't no question about it.
Yeah, what's your take on that?
And Slim, I'll tell you something. You know what the old folks say? You lie once, you gotta lie twice.
You gotta lie again, yeah.
You lie once, you gotta lie twice. And see, Louis Riddick on Get Up the other day, talking about it and everything, and said, well, we need to first hear from Aaron. We need to hear. Aaron don't want to say squat. Aaron's scared of a microphone right now as a possum is an axe handle. Aaron ain't trying to get in front of no microphone because Aaron know he lied. Come tell me, ask him, did you have the shot? Yeah, yes, I've been immunized. We ain't talking about no measles and no smallpox.
You got the chicken pox.
And you knew good. Aaron Rodgers knew good and hell well what them people were talking about. And I'm not going to point fingers or judge anyone who hasn't had the shot. That's you. You the one that ain't had the shot. Now, here's the big thing, though, Slim. Here's the big thing. There's a thing with this COVID called NFL protocol. Mm-hmm. Now, the big question is did Aaron Rodgers break the NFL protocol?
Yeah, they got them cameras, Coach.
What?
You know they got them cameras.
Boy,
they got them cameras.
Slim. Just know this. Don't ever underestimate the NFL's surveillance power. Mm-hmm. Lest we forget Ray Rice.
Yeah.
Okay, homeboy. They found him slapping his girlfriend or wife around in the elevator. They had pictures of that. Him dragging that woman out of the elevator by her hair. Let me tell you something. The NFL, they can find what they want to find. Now, this is a marquee player. Oh, this is big time.
This is star, Coach.
Oh, partner. And if he broke those protocols of COVID with the COVID protocol with the NFL, he gonna be more than no 1 game suspension. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, we talking about some money loss right now.
Oh, big time, partner. Big time. He know he done lied.
Now, Coach. Cleveland currently at the press right now are taking on Cincinnati. They released Odell Beckham Jr. What's your take on that?
Yeah, they released Odell Beckham Jr. And the big thing about the Odell Beckham Jr. in my mind is that Odell Beckham Jr. can still play. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now here's the situation. Let's look at it from the numbers side, because people lie, numbers don't. The Browns are 4-4 right now, and they going head to head with, and that's last in the division, but they're not out of it. They're not out of it. But they're 4-4, and right now they're taking on the Bengals, who are 5-3, oh, by the way, leading that division. Okay? Now, Odell Beckham's a head case, and we know it. Slim, can you make potato salad?
I'm pretty good at it, Coach. I could, the potatoes, got to dice them up. Yeah, but you got to have pickles. That's the main part, Coach.
Thank you. Now understand something. You got pickles and you got turds. Okay?
Okay.
You got to look real hard until you get up close to smell them. And you go to smell them, you can tell the difference. But just from a distance, it's hard to tell the difference between a turd and a pickle. Well, if in coaching in coaching, you have to be able to manage people. In other words, you gotta take them turds and convince them that they're pickles and make a beautiful potato salad and make it taste good, oh, by the way, and get through the season. Now, Kevin Stefanski, he's sitting there talking about, well, he missed this practice. He's excused from this practice. Well, the next day he's excused from this practice. Well, okay. And I grant you, that probably didn't come from Kevin Stefanski. Probably came from upstairs in the front office. But you better understand this. At the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski, they're going to hold you accountable for wins and losses. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line in this business. Wins and losses. And if he can play, I'm gonna tell you something. If he can play, I'm gonna get him to the party. Oh yeah, we're gonna make it to January with your crazy ass. We're gonna make it to January. I'm gonna tell you something, Slim. Phil Jackson won how many rings in Chicago? How many?
Coach. 6.
How many? He won 6.
91 to 93, 95 to 98.
Okay, with a guy on his team who could crash the boards like nobody has ever seen. Arguably the greatest offensive rebounder in NBA, Dennis Rodman.
The Worm.
And he was known to show up in a dress. Okay?
Yeah. Can't remember that.
The Eddie Robinson, the Jackie Robinson of college football, my good and dear friend and my mentor, the great college football Hall of Fame head football coach, Willie Jeffries, is going to be a guest on our show. And Willie Jeffries took the job at Wichita State in the spring of 1979, and 52 bodies showed up. You hear me? One of the most ragamuffin looking outfit looking group you ever seen. Okay? That was 1979.
Yeah.
But by 1982, Willie Jeffries had taken Wichita State to its first winning season in 10 years and its best record in 20 years. And at one time in the 1982 season, Willie Jeffries had Wichita State 7-1. Willie Jeffries took a bunch of misfits. Brother, I was there. Let me tell you something. But he molded it and he shaped it. Willie Jeffries took a bunch of turds and convinced them they was pickles and made some delicious bon appetit potato salad.
7-1, Coach.
You don't hear me. Let me tell you something. That's what coaches do. Now, I tell you what I bet you. Don't let him show up. I'm talking about Odell Beckham. Don't let him show up in New Orleans.
Tampa Bay.
In New Orleans, I'm coming to that. In New Orleans, Sean Payton don't play. Don't let him show up in Tampa Bay because Bruce Arians don't play and Tom Brady don't play. I tell you what, Antonio Brown wasn't a problem when he got to Tampa Bay, was he?
Case number 1.
Thank you. So, hey, man, I'm just telling you, just follow that saga real closely because I'm telling you, coaching is managing people. He's out of Cleveland. I get it. So now let's see how that soap opera in Cleveland goes on from here.
Slim, Coach, is it a soap opera or is it a football program?
Or
is it both?
Both. As the world turns, as the Cleveland Browns turn, it's a soap opera. Get out of here.
These are the days of our lives.
No question.
All right, Coach. Look, pleasure being in the studio with you again. It was an honor.
Always, bro. Always. Give my love. Please give my love to everybody. KC.
Will do, Coach. Tell Mama I love her.
I give a big hug and kiss for you, my brother.
All right, brother.
Take care, man.
All right. Take care, bro. Take care.
All right, dude. Like the wind blew away the chaff, and like the sun burned off the dew, what happened to the U? In a highly successful effort to trade its image for athletic excellence, the University of Miami football program which has not been relevant in well over a decade, can only blame its demise to its choice. The U was arrogant. The U had swagger. They could play and they knew it. And they didn't have any problem making sure that the world knew it. The U was funky. The U was Jerome Brown showing up at the Fiesta Bowl National Championship banquet wearing fatigues. The U was the SWAC in Division I uniforms. The U was NWA's Luther Campbell and 5 national championships, 4 of them between 1987 and 2001. The U was the most consecutive years of having a first-round draft pick in the NFL draft. The U was the most consecutive years of having the most first-round draft picks in the NFL draft with 4. But the U got downsized because the U was too soulful. The U was too OWT out. And hey, that's how I see it. 6 o'clock, straight up and down.
All right, Coach. I see you with the dance moves, with the soul. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's up, Coach?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we see it, and that's how it is. Thank God we get to do this again.
Thank God.
Thank you once again for tuning into this week's episode of Homespun Sports. Sports talk with a twist of down home wisdom.
Just a little twist.
We look forward to seeing you next week. Once again, thank you again to Mr. Joe Jacoby for being our guest star this week on Homespun Sports. We look forward to seeing you again on the show and in Kent, sir, because you deserve it.
No question.
Make sure y'all check out next week's episode. Show number 12 is going to be awesome. I guarantee it. And Coach, let's go and get up out of here like we came, man.
You said it again, my brother. What he said. Bang! All right.